It is live. Should be live soon. Let's see here.
And I'm going to tab over to my document with some questions, but
Okay.
we should be good. I'm not going to be reading heavily off of it.
Okay, great. Sandy, can you speak real quick for me?
Sure. Is this clear?
Yep, I think we're good. Okay. All right. All right, good luck, guys.
Thanks.
All right. Okay. Hi, my name's Rachel McFarland. I'm the museum store manager for the Crocker Art Museum, and I do what it sounds like. I manage everything to do with the store, from buying merchandise to maintaining our inventory. One of my favorite projects that I get to work on every once in a while is working with local artists. And right now I'm here with local artist Sandy Fong Whetstone, who's known for her raku ceramics. Hi. Particularly. Hi. Welcome, Sandy. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited for this. I've been wanting to give more of a boost to local artists that we work with, especially in this interesting year. So thank you so much for joining us. To start with, can you talk about how did you get started as an artist? How did you get into the arts?
Well, my father was an artist. He painted, he did sculptures, he did all sorts of things when I was young, and I just have always been drawn to it. My brother, he's also in the arts. He's a fashion designer. So I think it just kind of runs in our family. Yeah. And I really wasn't focused on art much until maybe about 12 years ago. I've always been interested. I've loved it, but I didn't actually put some serious time into it until about 12 years ago. And I took a ceramics class at City College, and I was hooked. I just loved it. It was the best thing.
I love that. That is so great. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like it's so true that, when you foster, an appreciation for art, even if it's in, quote unquote, a smaller way, like just doing crafts with your kids or grandkids, or taking them to visit a museum, it really makes an impact. And that's so great. It's like, yeah, you can get into art at any age. It's never too late to start, being creative. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, once I took those classes, because I'd always been interested, right? But my dad didn't pursue it as a career because he thought, there's no money in it. You can't do that. So I was always told, you need to get that serious career, do the degree. So I did, and I never took art classes until much later. And this is the best thing. I can do this more. So yeah, once I started taking the classes, and
that's
community college is a fabulous place to take art classes.
Absolutely. Yeah. There are so many places. Community college is a really great place, but there are also so many community programs and community arts organizations that, you can do it even if you think you might just be interested as a hobbyist. Really, it's so great to go out and explore.
Well, it started out as a hobby, right? I wasn't planning on really selling any of my work until later. So yeah, it was quite the leap, really, trying to sell my work. That's always been a very difficult thing for me. Self-promotion is just
it's
difficult.
Some people are good at that, and some people it comes very easily to them. But no, I get you. I think that is really tricky. I'm kind of curious, because you said you only really started getting into ceramics, 12 years ago or so. And that is sort of what you're known for the most about Sacramento, but you work in a number of other mediums. Have you always done sort of art on the side for personal fulfillment, or has this really been more of in the last decade you've really, jumped in with both feet?
Yeah, it's just I never really felt that I had the time or the skill, because honestly, whenever I saw my father paint or draw, he just whipped these things out so quickly, and they were just beautiful, just amazing. And I thought, I can't do that. There's no way. I'd try a little bit, and then I'd give up, because I was trying to compare myself to my father, who, of course, had all this experience and had even gone to art school in Los Angeles. So, of course, it was easier for him. So I really held back. I felt too intimidated. And it wasn't until much later, like I said, about 12 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, I started sketching a little bit. But for a long time, I was really just discouraged and disappointed. But
I was just gonna say, I can completely understand that. And I think, that can be sort of a barrier for people who really want to give art a try, because there's a difference, between what you see in your mind and learning the skills to actually translate it, outside of you.
Right. And because I had my father to compare myself to, and I thought he can do that so easily. And here I am struggling and struggling. I just give up.
I'm glad you didn't give up in the end.
In the end, right? So it finally clicked, like one time where I just worked a little bit longer on something, and I thought, oh, it's starting to look like something. It's actually starting to look like I had imagined. And it was then that I realized, oh, it does take some work. You do have to practice. You just try a little longer. Don't give up. It will happen. So, yeah.
So, how did you start? Did you sort of just decide, now I'm going to try all these different things? Because now you do a lot of work with textiles, you do a lot of work, you do lino cut, you do all sorts of things. And actually, let's look at, just for example, some photos from your Instagram page. And you'll see, of course, starting out with Raku, the sculptures that you're, so well known for. But yeah, you've also got paintings. And let me see if I can find, I have it open on this tab. Yes, I specifically wanted to talk about the marionettes because I just think they're so fun and whimsical. All your work is really playful.
Well, I really feel like I need to make things for me that make me happy. And these little creatures make me smile. Sometimes they're a little bit creepy or a little quirky and not always just fun and whimsy. But for the most part, I just want to make something that kind of makes me chuckle. So,
yeah. And that's one of the things I love the most about your art is it makes me smile every time I look at it.
Oh, I'm so
I love your work. Pretty much everything you do, even when, and I know, because like every once in a while your work has I would say maybe a tiny bit of a creepy edge. I'm personally really into that. I really like it.
Yeah, there are a lot of artists who have it, and I just love it. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, just can you talk a little bit about, bouncing in between those different mediums? Do you think it really strengthens your work? Do you find it challenging to work in between mediums, or do you find it more freeing to be able to sort of switch gears?
I do find it much more freeing because sometimes there are things that I want to express that aren't expressed in the same way in clay as a collage or a 2D or a painting. So, and I really honestly have not met a medium or encountered a medium that I don't want to try.
Mhm.
I'm not good at all of them, of course, but there are some that are just so amazing. And I thought, oh, I want to try that. I want to do that. And
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
I try my best to find a class. And oftentimes I can find one at the local community college.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I just want to do it all. And
I'm the same way. I've taken a lot of different community classes where it's like, ooh, lost wax casting sounds fun. It may be a disaster, but sounds amazing. Let's do it.
no, I did that too. That was so fun. So I studied things from the lost wax casting jewelry making class that I did years ago. Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
And then after that, I took a bronze casting class, and that was amazing.
Yeah.
That was really amazing. I don't believe I have anything left from that class, though. I think those have all been sold.
Is there anything sort of on your bucket list of there's this type of media that you haven't tried yet, but you're like, if I ever get the chance, I definitely want to try that. Is there anything you have on that list?
Not anything I can think of. I'm trying right now. I'm trying not to do too many new things. I've got this project going. I've got this project going. I've got and then this one, and I think, okay, I can't take on any more different mediums.
I hear you. I hear you.
My studio a little bit back here. It's filled with stuff, and there's a closet over there that's filled with stuff. It's just, and I've got another room that's got stuff. So
that's the life of an artist, is you keep everything and you fill pretty much every space you got.
yeah, everything is a potential art project, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I can become the worst kind of hoarder, and I just abhor that. I don't want to do that. And so I'm trying my best to limit the number of media that I do, because
Got it.
it can
maybe down the line maybe, but
but I think I'm at my limit. Otherwise it could just explode.
Gotcha.
And there's only so much room that I have for all the stuff required.
Yeah. So speaking of which, we're talking about what is it like to be an artist, to have your studio that you work in. Can you talk about, what are the challenges of being a full-time artist?
Well, I wish I were a full-time artist, but I teach.
Okay. Let's talk about all the things you do then.
Well, I do teach part-time at Sacramento City College. I teach.
It's very common for a lot of artists. Yeah.
Yes, but I don't teach art. I teach those people actually full-time artists. Because teaching art is actually an art, and they are actually doing a lot of art in those classes. I teach English as a second language, which really, yeah. So I actually have my master's in English, and
I never knew this about you, Sandy. I've known you for a couple years now. I never knew this.
Well, I kind of have a double life. I have the teaching life, my friends with teaching, and my students with teaching, and I have my art life with my artist friends. And whenever I say that I teach, my artist friends always
they assume you're teaching art,
right? Yeah. And no, I don't do that. And actually, I don't want to, because I feel like it is.
It is sort of, like total freedom for you, your art, it sounds like.
It is kind of my little refuge. I don't know. I guess in some way it's kind of selfish. I don't really want to
I don't think so.
Share that part with a whole class. I think the amount of energy I think that it takes to teach art is tremendous. And I think that after teaching art all day long, I wouldn't be able to do it on my own time.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah. And I think there really is something to be said. And you use the word selfish, but I don't think it is at all. There really is something to be said of, this is something that I need for self-expression. And, this is your own little world. And there's still a lot to learn, speaking as, a former, actual student of art, now just sort of a, someone who loves the art world. There's still so much you can learn just by looking at other people's art. You can take a class on your own just by looking at the work somebody's putting out.
That's definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I kind of want to keep that separate. And I've been asked in the past about teaching workshops, and that'll because that's not a whole semester's commitment. I've taught at Myrtle Press. I've taught some lino cut classes. I taught at the Crocker. I taught a few printmaking classes, and that was really fun. But that's a limited, short time frame, right? But the whole semester long thing, I don't think I could do that.
Yeah, that takes a really specific skill set, I think, especially for art classes. It takes a lot of skill.
Yes. And the teachers that I've had have been wonderful. They're just amazing people and amazing artists. So I've been so pleased with the quality of teaching that I've had through community college. It's been amazing. So
I guess if anybody is watching this video and wondering, maybe I should give it a shot, do it. Community college is a perfect place to start.
Yes, take that class, definitely. I did take one class, art class. I let myself take an art class when I was at UC Davis, when I was an undergraduate. I was an economics major, of all things, right? I know I kind of blocked that whole economics thing out. I know my supply and demand curves, but everything else is. But it was the worst class that I had ever taken in my life.
Oh no!
It was so awful. The teacher, I don't remember the teacher's name, but he was a misogynistic, arrogant.
No.
It was terrible. And he did not teach. He set up a still life on the table, and then he would leave.
Oh.
For 4 hours. And
that sounds like, I would say, maybe more of an old school sort of, this is how I learned when I was an art student, just throw you in and you sink or swim. And I think things have changed a whole lot since then. I mean, because you've talked about, you take these community college classes, and luckily I think that's starting to go away in the art world, in art education.
Yeah. Well, I suppose, I guess he thought he was enough of a famous artist. I didn't know who he was, or enough, stature.
Maybe it's good we don't need names. Maybe it's good.
So that he didn't need to work with these students that didn't matter. So
that's such a shame.
The attention that you get, the quality of education that you get at the community colleges, for at least for art, I think is really, really impressive.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've taken a number of classes, both at community colleges and then other sort of arts workshops, and they're always run by people who they just really love what they're doing, and they really want to share their knowledge and their passion in a way that I think you don't always find in other parts of academia, because it is so structured and very, very academic. Again, anybody listening to this, watching this, who thinks I should give it a shot, do it.
Do it. And community college is still, very affordable for most people. And there's also financial aid if you qualify. So
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
worth a shot. And then also, I think that there are places like you were talking about within the community. The Verge, they offer a lot of classes. They on Saturdays, I believe they have Saturday afternoons. I think they have a drop-in clay
Ooh. Oh,
place
that sounds
for
fun.
time, or I'm not sure exactly. But if you go to the Verge website, I'm sure that you can find information about that. And they do it outside. So
That
in
actually
the
sounds
time of
amazing.
COVID,
I
right?
play outside. Yeah.
Right. So in the time of COVID, that's still accessible. So I think give that a shot. And there's no like prerequisite, like you have to know this or you have to know that first.
Mhm.
So that is also a great resource.
That is awesome. I guess to sort of start thinking, wrapping up, I did have a question because this has been a very challenging year for everybody. COVID, wildfires, there's been a lot of social upheaval, a lot of protests have been really surging this summer for social justice. Has any of what's been going on this year, has it influenced your art at all? Has it influenced your philosophy, perspective when you go into the studio?
Yes. So sometimes I have the feeling that my art is irrelevant, right?
Mm.
That with so many things going on with the social justice movement, most especially this current political climate, I just think I need to do something that is addressing some of that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I have a very difficult time doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I've listened to too much news. I've watched, really too much Facebook news and too much
Mm-hmm.
everything news, and I feel saturated with that sometimes. So even though I do feel like I want to express some of my views through my art, I also feel like that's a
Mm-hmm.
really hard thing to do, and I feel like I need again that happy place
Yeah.
to kind of be restorative and feel like I can move on through the day, the week, the year. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I have done some I guess more political things, and
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah. Are any of those up on your Instagram? Just out of curiosity.
yeah, I do have some prints on there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll have to take a look. The print that's coming up for me on the screen is a squirrel in an aviator's costume.
That one's not. You're fine.
But yes, we'll encourage people.
Maybe
Yeah,
I
please
have.
check out
Okay,
that.
I have this. Resist, persist, prevail. That's a
Yes.
cut that I did, I believe, in 2016. But it's
I
still
think I
very
might have
well
seen
there.
that. Yeah, I think I might have seen that when I came and did a studio visit with you. Yeah, about that time, a year
Yeah,
or so
I think
ago.
so. And
Yeah.
I did a few other things, and I am working on something currently. It's a lino cut uh, about the model minority,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of times Asians are held up as the model minority, but
Absolutely.
it's really just a trap. So
Mhm. Yeah.
I won't give it too much away about that. It's still in
Sure,
progress.
sure.
But
It's still percolating. Still
yeah,
has yet to come.
yeah.
Gotcha. Uh,
But yeah, sometimes I feel like, yeah, I need to not think about it. And so I don't want it really percolating through my art. Other times I feel like I have to. So
yeah. Ah. And I think there's something to be said for art as a restorative practice as well. It's I actually, sorry, I'm just looking around. I'm like, where did I put that? On my whiteboard in the office back here, I have a quote by Bell Hooks, which has been sort of giving me life this summer, which is the function of art is to do more than tell it like it is. It's to imagine what is possible. So there is, art certainly can tell it like it is and speak truth to power, but I think it can be restorative, and it can be, it can say a lot of things. So I think I appreciate seeing, looking at your social media and seeing this playful whimsy. I don't know, it makes me feel good to see, and I'm sure I'm not alone. So I hope you keep doing what you're doing, but I am also excited to see if you do some new interesting, more political things. That would be really interesting.
Thank you, Rachel. Yeah, I'm working on it. It's percolating still, but yeah.
Great. All right. So I guess we ought to wrap this up. Sandy, thank you so much for joining us again. Where can people view your art online?
Well, mostly my Instagram. It's Whetstone_art. I do have a Facebook page. I believe it's Sandy Whetstone Art as well. And
yes, I have both of those up here. So we've got Sandy Fung Whetstone on Facebook, and then we have at Whetstone_art.
Yeah. I do have a actual web page, but it's terrible. Don't go there. A website. I don't maintain it. It really is very good. If you go to it, you will see a lot of old work.
A little trip back in time.
Yeah.
What galleries are there in the area that people can go and visit your art?
Mostly I have my work at Sparrow Gallery in the Art House building, the downstairs. Also at the Pence, I believe I have a few little things in Davis.
Oh, in Davis, yeah.
Yeah. And of course, the Crocker Museum store.
Yes,
which
we do have some of your work still in the store. Yes.
That was on my bucket list. Oh my goodness. When I got into the Crocker Museum store, I was like,
oh, yay. Oh, that makes me feel so good.
Yeah, I was just like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe how exciting. So
great. Yeah. And yes, we have a lot of ornaments by you. We have a couple of your fruit with feet. We have some of your wall pieces, raku hearts, your animals. We're also, the store is going to be working soon to bring in more local artists from the Sacramento region. So stay tuned on that. There will be more coming out on that soon. We love having you in the store, Sandy. Thank you.
I have some recommendations.
Email me after this. We can chat. But yes, there will be more coming up about that soon. If you enjoyed this video, this conversation with Sandy, you can find more videos like this at the Crocker website, crockerart.org/fromhome. You can also always visit our social media pages. We have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Crocker Art. And again, thank you so much, Sandy, for joining us. This was really a delight. It was so great to talk to you. It was really wonderful.
Thank you so much, Rachel. It was great talking to you too.
All right. We good, Brian?